Do you see now why I couldn't have that up for 5 weeks?
Every week I would have forgotten it was there.
Yes, but you would have remembered right before the episode where it matters. Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time around we had the Sontaran Stratagem. What was that one about?
Well, they didn't actually appear right away. It starts out with this kind of uber tech bro guy who's invented some kind of navigation system for automobiles. There's self-driving, but then like 52 people die at the same time on the same day. And so the Doctor and Unit, who now features Martha, have gone to investigate, and they find out at the the Atmos factory that something odd is going on there. They're using alien technology, and it turns out to be the Sontarans, and the Sontarans capture Martha and make a clone of her.
Yeah, an evil clone of Martha.
Aren't all clones evil? Pretty much that's the scientific trope, a clone has to be evil.
I mean, now that you say that, it would be funny if... I mean, it's either the clone is evil or the original version is dead. So, it's just kind of... It's never just someone made a clone and everything is perfectly hunky-dory, so...
Well, it seems to me that somebody needs to switch that trope on its head. And, for example... like in The Boys from Brazil, they try to clone Hitler, but it turns out one of them is literally the anti-Hitler and realizes what's going on, and then, essentially kills off all the Nazis or the fascists or whatever and becomes a good guy.
So.
Patented idea.
Yeah.
Trademark. 7th Hour Films.
Yeah. If that ever comes up, if you are a writer out there and you write that story... just remember that we have this as video proof and we're going to make millions off of you. Or not. It could entirely just not sell as an idea. So, anywho. And then at the end of the episode, the Doctor went to Donna. Donna's at her family's house. And where we last left, all the cars with the Atmos systems are spewing a type of gas, and... Grandpa Wilf is stuck in the car, dying very slowly. So, and that's where we left off.
So I'm assuming that's why the next episode is called The Poison Sky.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, we are finally back on the DVDs. Not that we haven't been watching the DVDs per se, but we're back just on the menu where we can actually watch. We can actually see the episode titles. I don't think there's going to be any more problems, at least this season, in terms of titles. Actually, it kind of goes down after that. I mean, there'll be the occasional Dalek title, but it kind of, after the first 2 or 3 times we see it, it's like, it's not as big a reveal, so... But this was a big reveal of the Sontarans, the very short Sontarans coming back. So, we got anything else?
I'm reminded that we didn't really... It's not that we don't like the redesign of the Sontaran. It's not as good as the original.
Yeah.
And I don't know... It seems to me that the original would have been more difficult to recreate. I don't know. It seems like they've done something that it does not look right.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clean, which is weird because they're still potato-headed freaks, but it's very clean. It's almost too good a prosthetic that it almost doesn't work. And I think like the proportions are weird because it's like you've got this really big round head, but then it just kind of tapers into being like kind of skinny by the time you get to the bottom. And plus they're just incredibly short. So
yeah.
It feels off, basically. They don't really feel like they're the great warrior race of the universe. It feels like, you can just give them a swift kick and knock them down. So, oh well.
All right.
But with that, let's get into Episode 5 of Season 4. Here we go.
How come Bernard Cribbins doesn't get his name before the title.
You gotta be a mainstay companion. They're good.
I don't think it would get into sub-Saharan Africa that quickly.
Eh,
There just aren't that many cars there.
no.
Nor into the interior of Australia.
I can't believe you've got an axe.
Get inside the house. Just try to.
Oof. Look at that old thing.
Looks kind of like the one of those ships from the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
We are warning anyone and everyone. Stay away from the cars. Repeat, stay away from your cars.
Ross, look after yourself.
You know, there probably also wouldn't be too many Atmos systems in the Midwest because it's a too liberal idea of getting rid of CO2.
I was just wondering if you found your family and Tom.
No, what for?
Gas. Tell them to stay inside.
Of course I will. Yeah, but what about Donna? I mean, where's she?
Oh. She's gone home. She's not like you. She's not a soldier. Right, so. Avanti.
Does being a genius mean you can't have fashion?
Leave it. This is the doctor.
Doctor, I'm here.
That's a good thing you can see.
Doctor! Breathing your last.
Oh my god. They're like trolls.
Lovely diplomacy, mate. So, tell me, General Stahl. Since when did you lot become cowards?
Oh! Yeah!
Oh, that's diplomacy.
Doctor! You cease transmission!
Doctor, what number are you on?
Oh, dang it.
You haven't even got a number.
Remove the box!
Where are you going?
Find my brother.
I didn't say you could leave.
I told him to put Atmos in his car. I've got to go and help him.
Stay where you are.
What do you think you're doing?
Luke, put that down.
I did this for you. Don't you see?
You didn't get them to drink the Kool-Aid before this moment?
The clever ones.
You're just sick.
Wow, not a single one.
I'm clever than you. I'm clever than everyone. Do you hear me? I'm clever.
You know, I don't condone bullying in schools. But sometimes.
Is being likened to a biblical plague. Some are calling this the end of days.
Ugh. It's hard to watch when they zoom in that close to a CRT. Get out of the street!
Codes have been wiped, sir. It must be the Sontarans.
Can we override it?
Trying it now, sir.
Missiles wouldn't even dent that ship, so why are the Sontarans so keen to stop you? Any ideas?
How should I know?
I'll protect the operative.
The clone is not very good at blending in.
Like the Cybermen, they do tend to walk in unison.
Nah.
Tell the doctor it's that Cordeline signal.
He's the only one who can stop them.
Oh no, Ross. Wow, he's a good man.
Order imperative. Immediate retreat.
Again, not very Sontaran-like, because they...
No, it's not fair.
Times like this I could do with a brigadier. No offense.
I'll take it. Sir Alistair's a fine man, if not the best. Unfortunately, he's stranded in Peru.
Launch grid back online.
Such a shame. Yeah, and there it goes again.
I did everything you wanted. And it's not Atmos system, that's a tautology, it's just Atmos.
Execute him!
Poor kid. Isn't it sad? It's not that sad.
Shoot him.
Eh.
In the factory only.
What's happened? Where are you?
Still on Earth, but don't worry, I've got my secret weapon.
And what's that?
You.
Somehow that's not making me happy.
Right, Donna, listen. On the back of his neck, on his collar, there's a sort of plug, like a hole, the probic vent. One blow to the probic vent knocks him out.
Thank goodness he has mallets for when he drives the TARDIS.
It's hammer time.
Oh!
Back of the neck. Right, it's Sandra in shape. You need 3 fingers.
You've got 3 fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Live long and prosper.
It's a good thing it's just pressure sensitive.
Once again, bad peripheral vision.
Greatest soldiers in the universe.
Galax and Sontarans couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Latest firing stock. What do you think, Doctor? Are you my mummy? If you could concentrate. From this point on, it stops. From this point on, the people of Earth fight back.
This is our Independence Day.
We show the warriors of Son. The area's clearing. Engines for maximum. It's the Valiant.
What?
It's the Valiant, the helicarrier.
Unit carrier ship Valiant reporting for duty, Doctor. With engines strong enough to clear away the fog.
Gigantic fans.
That's brilliant. Getting a taste for it, Doctor?
No, not at all, not me.
Valiant, fire at will.
Jeez. Alright, good job, unit. How did you miss?
Honor of battle.
When did you know?
Weren't you? Oh, right from the start. Reduced iris contraction, slight thinning of the hair follicles in the left temple, and frankly, you smell. You might as well have worn a t-shirt saying Clo. Although,
You will face me, sir.
Good shot.
wonderful.
Oh no. Fake Martha. You know, I do feel slightly bad for fake Martha, which is more than can be said of Ratigan, so...
There's 2 of them.
Yeah, long story.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ratigan Academy. Owned by.
Don't tell anyone what I did. It wasn't my fault. The Torrens lied to me.
If I see one more gun.
Punch him.
It's London. You can't even see it.
It's like
My
LA.
family's in there.
Yeah.
Get this on the right setting.
Doctor, hold on. You said the atmosphere would ignite.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
We'll just ignore that part. Dude, that's not terrifying at all. Boy, the trees are gonna have to work overtime after this. I guess if anything, that's the cleanest the air has been in like 150 years. Good heavens.
He's a genius. Just brilliant.
Now we're in trouble.
Now you pissed him off.
We must. I'll do it.
What are you doing?
Something clever.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Sometime. Ha! 1.
Ha! Good job, Luke. He did one good thing with his life. It's a difference of companions right there.
The streets are half empty. People still aren't driving. There's kids on bikes all over the place. It's wonderful. Unpack that.
You also have walkable cities. Yeah. I guarantee nothing changed in America.
Doctor, just listen to me. You take me home. Take me home right now.
Okay. It's not a 3-parter. It's kind of like a 2.5-parter. The next episode does not have anything really to do with this episode, aside from the fact that wherever they're going is taking Martha with them. So,
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Now, I kind of anticipated Ratigan doing that, but I thought he would have done something. I mean, after all, he and his people had been physically training, I thought he would essentially throw the doctor out of the way and do it himself. But figuring out how to switch the doctor and himself was pretty clever.
As he did learn his lesson that he's not as clever as he thought he was.
That's a big problem with a lot of these incredibly smart people. They don't have a lot of common sense.
I mean, it's just a god complex with him. Except, I mean, it's one of those things. You know, we made the joke about bullying and stuff. You know, it is at least a thing of like most people like Ratigan don't get that bullying, except Elon Musk. They will never let him go. He, just as a little aside, he did a live stream recently from his own private plane and just left the chat going the entire time, and the entire chat was just spamming like nobody loves you, your family hates you and stuff for like 2 hours as he failed to beat the tutorial boss of a video game that he claimed he was the best at. It was it's so awful. Anytime he goes live, it's one of the worst catastrophes known to man. But
well, that's something, and again, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but I think there are a lot of people who don't know this. They always think that he is the tech genius, and he really isn't. You know,
No.
He inherited money from his, I guess, family's diamond mine in South Africa, and he bought Tesla. He bought SpaceX. You know, he basically became an investor, made a lot of money, and then ended up taking more. But he didn't invent any of that stuff. So he's really not as smart as, especially the MAGA people, the Make America Great Again people here in the United States think he is. He's really kind of an idiot, you know. And he's really, like you said, he's kind of got stunted growth. He doesn't understand what he's really doing.
I mean, I think Steve Jobs was kind of the same. I think he did do some stuff at least.
Jobs and Steve Wozniak, and there was somebody, there's 3 of them,
essentially
did build the original Apple computers and everything like that.
Yeah.
But Jobs, yes, is the guy who stepped out in front and said, I can market this.
He became very business oriented and stuff. But I would at least say, because I'm not the biggest fan of Steve Jobs, but at the very least, like, he seems to have known more than Elon Musk does now.
Yeah.
So it's at least something. But and I guess to Ratigan's credit, Ratigan is very smart. He just doesn't understand human beings and the world that exists. So, I mean, he had a god complex of, you know, nobody is as clever as me. They're all just cattle. So now I can go make my own world and, you know, reshape the human race with these very clever people.
That's kind of something that Elon Musk has in the back of his mind. That's why he wants to colonize Mars. You know, he's got this idea that he can literally reshape human history.
Yeah, and he's probably never seen The Martian. So, you know what? If he wants to go and colonize Mars, then he can go. He can go and leave and do that.
Yeah.
So
now, a couple of things here. I don't remember, and of course it's been 30 years since we've watch the last Sontaran episode. I don't remember them being clones. I don't know if that was ever made such a big deal back in the original run.
I don't know. I don't know if it was ever made a very big deal. Like, this is the first episode that kind of really delves into that. Because, if anything, the whole episode sort of hinges on, like, well, the Sontarans are here to invade Earth, but it's only, towards the end that you realize the real goal is like, well, no, they're still at war with the Rutans, which have been referenced all the way back in their first episode. But it's just all they needed out of Earth was just a new cloning facility, make enough soldiers, and then they could win the war. Yeah. So, I don't know if it was ever made a big deal. It might have been mentioned once or twice, but...
And I'd completely forgotten about the helicopter...
The Valiant.
The Valiant battleship.
Yeah.
When did we see that last?
That was at the end of season 3, so that was 5-6 episodes ago now.
Right, so. Short-term memory problems.
Yeah. And you have short-term memory problems, which is a problem.
What kind of problem?
So.
Anyway.
But the Valiant was the big helicarrier that the Master basically used as his palace when he took over.
Oh, that's
so.
Right, that's right.
But, I mean, it's a very clever thing of just, use those gigantic engines and fans and just blow all that gas away so you can actually fight. And I will say, at least credit to the Colonel here, because, like, for a good chunk of these 2 episodes, you're just like, man, this guy's not good enough. He's not like the Brigadier. But he does find a way to fight back once he understands, why their guns aren't working. And they actually fight back, and they kill a decent number of Sontarans on the ground, so...
And I'm kind of surprised there wasn't at least a brief reaction shot from the Sontarans who didn't realize that they could be killed. The one guy said, this isn't battle, it's sport, but he was enjoying it. But then to realize, we got a real battle on our hands, and then, suddenly they're getting slaughtered. There should have been a nice little reaction there. And one more question. The actor who played Lethbridge Stewart, was he still alive at this point?
I think so.
Okay, because it seemed like they referenced him and being in Peru and everything, but it seemed like they were going to try to bring him back.
Yeah. It will be a few more years, a few more seasons before he passes away. He does actually, I guess it's slight spoiler, but he does actually come back on the Sarah Jane Adventures for one episode, which is really good. And if we ever had the time to watch it, we would know this. By the way, we've only watched 2 episodes of the second Torchwood season, and I don't know. I get the feeling we're going to get to the end of this season without finishing season 2, but we'll finish it at some point.
Yes. And
at some point, we will try to fit in Children of Earth, because that's what everybody wants. And I do understand why. It is a really good season, better, actually good season of Torchwood, not like the first 2 seasons. But though I will say, we've watched 2 episodes of Torchwood season 2, and I just don't care. So that's our little mini update on where we are with Torchwood. They're not bad. I will at least give credit; they have not been bad episodes. Yeah. But those first 2 episodes, we just get to the end, and I just look at you, and I'm just like, oh, it's fine, but I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, we always try to record on Saturday morning, which we're doing right now. This next week at the theater, we are opening Ira Levin's mystery thriller called Death Trap. It runs for 3 weekends. Following that, the whole family's going on vacation. So next 4 weeks are going to be kind of very busy for me and then for all of us.
Yes.
So we'll stick this in wherever we can get a moment or 2.
Yeah, I mean, we should be at least fine. I mean, basically in 3 or 4 episodes, we'll have a 1-week break in the middle of the season. But yeah, I have no idea about Torchwood, really, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, I will say with this 2-parter, and this kind of also extends into the next episode, is it's nice to have Martha back. She didn't really do a lot in these episodes. Yeah. It's one of those things of it's nice that we can bring a companion back, because in all of Doctor Who, we've never really been able to do that. And going forward, we're not going to be doing that a lot again. So it's nice to have Martha back, but I don't know, because it's probably a balancing act of like, okay, well, how much do you use Martha, and then how much do you also use Donna, who's only been reestablished a few episodes ago, and you want to have the focus also on her, but you want to have some focus on Martha, but you don't want it to just make it a season 3 episode again. So,
and it wasn't really Martha though. This was Martha's evil clone, so it gives the actress a chance to do something without actually making her part of the original Martha's arc.
Yeah, and man, that old, I can't even remember what they're called, but the old like Pal Pad or something. I can't remember what those old touchscreen things are called. It's something like that, but those are such a product of pre-2010, and it's hilarious seeing it now, because it's just like, because nowadays, if they made this episode, it would just be a smartphone or something, or whatever, but just the fact that it is one of those old little, touchscreen, little calendar things.
Palm Pilot?
Palm Pilot, yeah, I think that was it, so...
I was also thinking BlackBerry, but that's the one that actually had a keyboard, didn't it?
Yeah, and that was just a genuine phone. So, but that was the sort of pre-smartphone, smart-ish phone, the BlackBerry. I don't think they make BlackBerries anymore.
No, I don't either, because President Obama said he was addicted to his, but he couldn't use it when he was president.
Yeah.
And then after he was president is when they had already started phasing them out, I think.
Yeah, so, I mean, I see videos on YouTube every so often of, like, I stopped using my smartphone for 30 days, and here's how it went. And a lot of people that do a video like that will get a flip phone or something and use that for a month, and for a lot of it, it's like, well, it's great, I'm not, just doom scrolling Twitter or TikTok or whatever and stuff, but then they're also like, it's almost impossible to text someone with a number pad. It's really difficult. But then I saw a video that was, I didn't use my phone or any phone, like any mobile phone, for an entire month, and he bought himself a landline for his apartment in LA and was like trying to coordinate and go use the bus system in LA without using his phone. It was difficult, but he did at least enjoy getting away from it. I always say, I don't use my phone for much anymore now that I don't have Twitter on there. It's like I use it to, I guess I slightly doom scroll YouTube. It's not really doom scrolling on YouTube though, it's just scrolling. And I play, Pokemon TCG on it. That's almost all I do on my phone nowadays, so.
I rarely ever use mine. In fact, I've at least twice in the last couple of months left my phone at work. Because I set it down on my desk, and then when we get ready to leave, I don't even think about it.
No, yeah. So, I mean, it's still an instinct for me to just, anytime I get up, I just grab my phone, but I mean, I don't use it. I also, just because when I first got a smartphone, I was in high school, I leave my phone on silent just all the time. I just never turn it on. I do have a ringtone, I just never hear it, ever, in my life, because I don't keep my phone on sound, because it's just like, no, those like 3 years that I was in high school, and also, the 5 years I was, or 4.5 years I was in college, it's just like, no, I got to keep my phone on silent, because you don't want to cause a disruption. So now it's just like, well, I'm 5 years out of college at this point, and I'm just like, no, I have no reason to turn my phone on sound anymore. So, anywho. But yeah, what were we talking about?
Who knows?
I don't know, but well, I guess we were talking about Martha and her use in this episode. And you're right, at least with having the clone, it does make something different from what we normally saw with Martha last season. So it is at least something interesting. Yeah. If I remember, though, the next episode, I don't know why they bothered bringing Martha, because I think next episode she's just not going to be doing that much. So maybe they just had it, in a contract or something, bring her back for 3 episodes, and then that'll be that. I don't know. Everything else, the poison gas, the clone world was interesting. I do like it. It is always nice with Doctor Who, where it's like Doctor Who, I feel like, is the exact middle point between Star Trek explaining everything scientifically and magic, because like Doctor Who can always be in that nice, perfect, sweet spot, because the Doctor created this little device that shoots up and ignites the entirety of Earth's atmosphere, and everything is fine. It conveniently doesn't destroy any of the oxygen or anything a human would need, and just gets rid of all the pollution and everything that the Sontarans have put into the sky. It's a bit convenient that fireball that went across the entire surface of the Earth didn't destroy the entire atmosphere, and also just didn't burn anybody when it went across. So,
well, it was probably way up in the stratosphere at that point. One thing, and again, I took note of this because I thought I understand why they said that earlier. They made a point of the Sontaran ship being 5,000 miles above the Earth's surface, so that's well out of our atmosphere. Because then when it blew up, the chances of all of that debris raining down on Earth seemed to be much less because it was so far away.
Yeah, so it is, and again, because I'm looking at my notes, I'm seeing Radigan and his new world and stuff. I do find it weird that he got none of them to drink the Kool-Aid beforehand. It's like, if you're going to do all of this, you have to well, I guess he doesn't understand humans, but it's just like, he just thought, like, I will tell them and they will immediately all be on board for leaving the rest of the human race, including all of their friends and families, and going to a new world where I'm going to have a schedule of when they breed. But Luke is not an ordinary child, so he did not fully understand. And I do also like that moment where, when they teleport in, and he starts walking towards them with the gun. I love that the Doctor just takes it, just throws it away. It's too many guns for one day.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, well, now that you've seen both parts, did you enjoy the Sontaran 2-parter?
Yes. Again, I don't feel the Sontarans in New Who here, and even the later versions in Classic Who, are as good as the original.
Yeah.
I don't know who was, I'm sure somebody will tell us who the original writer was, but that writer seemed to have a true purpose. They weren't just mindless clones. They're getting to be a point where they're not as clever as they were. That first one, the going back in time and in landing there with the medieval times, that was very clever. I really enjoyed that. And now it's just kind of, okay, they're just another species. They're not as interesting.
It's kind of gone from where the original, because he was by himself, he was kind of a general. He was implementing strategies, and you could see how his mind bounced off the Doctor's and how their two different strategies could go head to head. Until now, they're kind of just stormtroopers. They're just, guys with guns in a line. They walk, they shoot, they like war. I mean, it's kind of like, the Klingons kind of suffered the same thing at a point where it's just like, okay, they're all about war. So they go and they like to have battles. And it's like, okay, but what are you doing with that is new? Because we have seen both the Sontarans and the Klingons for 60 years. You have to do something new with them.
Yeah.
So, this will not be our last appearance of the Sontarans in Modern Who. I don't fully remember when the next time we'll have like a dedicated Sontaran episode is, but I think there is at least one that's better. I don't know. And it will be a few episodes before, maybe not too many episodes, before the next 2-parter. Alright. Let us know down in the comments, even though it doesn't fully affect you guys. should we go ahead and do the next two-parter as just one video? Maybe we'll do that because you always specifically don't like when it cuts off at the end. So maybe we can do the next one. The next two-parter is like one of the biggest two-parters of the Tenet era. So I'll be curious if people would want that to be just one video or not. And if there's enough people saying we should do that, then we'll go ahead and do it. Because I mean, we do have enough time technically to do another episode. So we can try that for the next two-parter, which, if I remember right, comes up in like 3 or 4 episodes, maybe. So
yeah. Some of my Saturdays, in addition to all the weekends where we're producing shows, they're actually performing them. Just like today, we're going to finish up here in just a minute, and I have to go down to the theater because we're auditioning our next play, Tennessee Williams' Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So we'll be auditioning today and having callbacks tomorrow. We'll announce the cast, and then when we get back from vacation, we start rehearsals for that show.
Yeah, so... and
retirement.
Yeah, what's that?
What is this retirement you speak of?
But yeah, and honestly, because I don't fully remember what episode the next two-parter is. If I were to guess, though, because every time I go into my calendar and I add in the week break for vacation, there's always something important in whatever show I'm watching. Either it's a season finale or it's a big two-parter. So I'm willing to bet that right now we would take a break right in the middle of the biggest two-parter of the season. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do both of those in one video, just so we make sure we get it. So, you got anything else?
I got nothing else. What's up next?
Up next is... Well, okay. The next episode is called The Doctor's Daughter. And I don't know. Is that a spoiler? Is that not a spoiler? So, it's...
Well, we know he has a granddaughter.
It's a vague and interesting title. So, like, yeah, I just, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's what it's called. Should I say that? Might as well. So,
I'll forget it anyway.
Yeah, you'll forget it, and even then, that doesn't really spoil anything about the episode. So, but yeah, that is basically it. With all of that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our Doctor Who modern reactions, as well as another playlist with every Doctor Who reaction that's on the channel. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.